Okay, we are live and recording is also started.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. You ready?
Yes, yes, I am. Mhm.
Thank you so much, Dorji, and hello to all. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thank you so much for coming to WayCraft. Together we are. It's a podcast show where we try to talk in towards the inner journey of the guest, whoever is coming to our show. Today we have a very special guest from Bhutan and a very small country, but an example country for various reasons for the entire world. This is one time I can say size does not matter. The purpose matters.
Okay. That's nice.
And from Bhutan, we have Dorji. Dorji talks about creativity. And when I say creativity, everybody will be thinking about design and things. No, he talks about creativity in life. He talks about creativity in finding meaning. And he talks about gender neutrality, in a way, gender equality. And you should listen to his gender equality or neutrality talk. I had the honor of listening to his 1 hour presentation. Amazing. So Dorji is dialing from Bhutan, very good friend of mine, my brother, such a nice statesman. He speaks from his heart. And today, I'm sure it's very easy for Dorji to come to this program because in whether this is program or otherwise, he talks the same way. But I want to introduce Dorji to the entire world, listen to his story. And through the process, I'm sure there'll be a lot of lives transformation going on. To me, of course, to him also, and for everybody who is actually seeing this program now and the recording, which will come little later. So we are already live in LinkedIn and we will have a deferred live upload in YouTube, Facebook, and Spotify. We'll start increasing the channels as soon as it is there. We are also creating a Vivo channel. Very soon it will come there also. So with this, let's get into the program. Dorji, welcome. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you very much, my dear beloved brother Satish from Chennai, India. You're my one of the uh, not so newest, but one of the new brothers that I have made in the last 1 year. So really fortunate to have you in my life. Yes, and then also thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to talk with you. And one thing I would like to say about this talk is because, as you have already highlighted, presently I call myself as creativity catalyst, and I talk about creativity, and also my mission is to inspire and encourage other people to be more creative. And of course, in the process, I always get myself inspired. So you are the one of them who has actually inspired me. And in fact, you are this very show WayCraft. I feel this is a great work of creativity. In fact, I must have attended quite many numbers of such sessions, online sessions, and all. And this is the first of its kind, actually, without any kind of agenda, theme, or guidelines. And you give so much kind of a complete freedom to the guest. In this case, is me. So I think the feeling itself is so different today because when you normally come on a guided kind of session, then of course you come with a different kind of feeling. But this time I'm really feeling totally different. So this is really a work of creativity because creativity is basically when you are actually free. I mean, to me,
You are
that's
yourself.
also that's how I also define creativity. For creativity really needs to be open. There has to be a complete kind of a space. Then I think you could actually become also more creative. Thank you so much, and also to the viewers and to the listeners. It's such an honor and pleasure for me to be with you all. Thank you.
Perfect. Let's start with your early life. Like just just take us through little bit of Bhutan, from where you are. How did how did your life start, and then just let's take few minutes to give a proper beginning to this, and give us a lot more about Bhutan, because we sitting in the other side, and we have seen Bhutan in the books, we have heard, and very few, probably many, have got an opportunity to actually travel also. I'll be asking a lot of question also, because there are few things which is coming right now to my mind. As I said, even I have not prepared. So looking at you, whatever that we are talking, whatever comes in mind, and that's who we are going to talk. So please take us through your life journey.
Okay, brother. So first, I think I would like to acknowledge you. In your earlier introduction, you talked about, you gave a very kind words on my country. You said Bhutan is small, but exemplary. So thank you so much for being supporting my country. Yes, you're right. It's a small country, but in our own small way, I think we are doing some things which are actually still kind of inspiring the rest of the world. So thank you very much. Now, yeah, I think uh, I come from a very big family actually. So we are 10 siblings, and I think I have to, since it's about me, yes, I was born in 1965, uh, so this year I think I've just crossed to 60. So it's going to, I mean, it's 61. So, and I was actually born in Thimphu, where I am right now. And Thimphu is the capital city of our country. And while my roots, like my parents, are both from the central part of Bhutan, it's called Bumtang. Like Bhutan is divided into 30, I mean 20 districts, and Bumtang is a different district from where my parents come from. But I am presently, I mean, in residing in Thimphu, and I was also born in Thimphu, and it was in early mid 60s, as I just said. And that time, I think Bhutan was just opening up to the modern world, so-called modern world. In fact, our first motor road, the vehicle road, was constructed only in the late 50s, and it was from the Indian border town of Jaigong, and our town is Phinsiling. So from there, I think they started to make the first motor road from Phinsiling to Thimphu, which is about, I think, 180 kilometers. Yeah, so I was born here in Thimphu, and then, of course, I did my just one pre schooling in Thimphu, and then after that, I don't know whether you will believe me or not. From my class one, I was sent to a boarding school, which is in the next valley, in called Punakha. And Punakha again used to be the winter capital of a country, very important place historically and culturally also. And even today, Punakha is one of the must kind of a visit in the itinerary of visitors coming to Bhutan. We have a beautiful fortress there in the middle of two rivers. So there, I was sent there on a boarding school. So I was there for almost like 10 years, from class 1 to class 10. So that was my preschooling. Then, of course, from there, I went to the only college then in our country in early 80s. I went to a eastern part of our country, and there that used to be the only college called Sheriff's College in Konglung, Eastern Bhutan. And there I was for 2 years doing my plus two. And then from there, of course, I must have done a little bit better, good in my studies. And then those days, those who do quite well, I mean, they get scholarship from our government, and then we go overseas for studies. And in mid 80s, early 80s, there were no kind of facilities in our country to do higher studies like bachelor's degree, master's degree. It was not there. So therefore, from class 12 in Sharapsi, I was got a scholarship, and I went to Sri Lanka. I went to Sri Lanka to study my bachelor's degree in agriculture. And in fact, Chennai is very close to me, because that one of my first uh, trip outside Bhutan was through Calcutta. When on my way to Sri Lanka, we went to Calcutta. From Calcutta, from Phinsiling, from Bhutan to Calcutta, we went by bus. And then from Calcutta to Chennai, we took a flight. And then from Chennai, Of course, we had 1 or 2 days break, and we went to this beautiful beach, which is supposed to be the longest. I don't know whether it is still holds that.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Marina.
yes, yes, Marina Bridge, and then I mean beach. Then from there we went to Sri Lanka. So Chennai is one of my first foreign places that I've been. And in fact, another thing I want to share is that was the first time I think I saw ocean in Chennai in my life. I mean, the vast, the body of water and oceans. Yes, and then of course I was there for almost 3 years, 4 years, and then of course I finished my bachelor's degree, and then finally I came back here, and then I joined my service. Yeah, so this is how, and as I said, I studied agriculture, so then I was joined our Ministry of Agriculture then, and then in agriculture, of course, I worked for almost like 15 years. And then after that, of course, when I was in agriculture, I had the honor and privilege of becoming the first cooperative register in the country. So I could say it was during my time we started the so-called cooperative movement. And today, as we know, maybe after almost like 20 years, now we can say now we have around 500 plus cooperatives, I was told,
Wow.
and we started from nothing actually. So I was the first cooperative registrar. I was the founding director of Department of Agriculture Marketing Cooperatives. And then from there, I moved on. I mean, the government sent me as a governor in another district, which is quite a remote district. And there I was there for 4 years. And then finally from there, I was brought again back to Thimphu to uh, head the department, I mean, Tourism Council of
Tourism.
Bhutan.
Yes.
So this is as far as my studies and my career in civil service is concerned. And as of today, officially, I have resigned, retired from a civil service. So for last 1.5 years, 2 years, I think I've been in a way kind of uh, independent, but I also have
Consultant.
get some kind of special assignments. Yes.
Yeah, perfect. I think your life itself is a standing testimony of, how a country can help their own citizen, and then, they in turn become a model citizen, and then they derive something like just like how you started the cooperative thing, and then that becomes like today it is 500 plus, and then you went into tourism, and that tourism is something which I really want to talk about next. From where did Bhutan, or from where did uh, uh, kingdom, His Highness get this idea of putting happiness first? Is it part of your culture, or is it something which, because of something happened and then it was a conscious decision? You know, Bhutan is world's first country, or probably even now it's the only country which puts happiness first.
Yes.
And maybe is there a story behind that, or is it something part of your culture? Take us through that.
Yes, I think you're right. We are the first country that has actually officially adopted happiness, gross national happiness, as a formal development philosophy. Something that we choose this uh, from the conventional development philosophy, which is commonly known as gross domestic product. Yes, that's true. Now, coming to the history, I mean, how this came about, I think it is kind of a cultural and traditional, our history, our spiritualism, all put together. I think it just didn't come like that. But of course, became prominent. This came into the world uh, only for the first time uh, in the modern world during the time of during the reign of our fourth king, His Majesty King Jigme Singye Wangchuk, and who is also popularly, I think, globally known as the father of gross national happiness, because it was during his time who has actually propounded this. Now, I think you asked a very good question, whether this just happened like that. I mean, but I would like to say that no, I think this was kind of a already kind of a given, because culturally, historically, spiritually, happiness of the not only human beings, even the sentient beings, I mean animals, even the plants, we consider in our spiritualism, we consider everything that is living, that has a life. is precious. So therefore, and their happiness is precious. So that has been part of our culture, our tradition all along. I think our spiritualism. And just to let you know, I mean, some facts. I think our country, the so-called Bhutan, as a modern Bhutan, that was founded only in the 16th, 17th century under another great leader known as Shabdung Namgyel. And he is also considered as the father of Bhutan, founding father of Bhutan. And it was during his time, actually, there is a statement in the court of during his reign, which says that if a government is not able to provide happiness to its citizens, then there is no need or use for government. And this was I mean, I also have that code, I mean, quote. It came from 16th, 17th century.
Wow.
So you can relate to that. Okay. Then there was a big gap, of course. Then the present great Wangchuk dynasty under which we are presently, this came only in 1907. And then after that, of course, till the fourth king. And it was during fourth king, and he was then a very young king. I mean, sadly, we lost our third king very prematurely. I think he was not even 40 years old. We lost him. And that led our fourth king to take the throne at a very young age, just at the age of 16. So he was enthroned as a youngest monarch in our country in 1973. The official coronation was in 1974, but he was enthroned as a king in 1973. So I think it was in his very, even during his teens only. I believe he was traveling in India, and one reporter in India uh, s- seemed to have interviewed or asked our king, our beloved king, saying, I mean, what is the GDP of your country? Now, that was the question being asked to a young king. And our king, as I said, is not something that just came spontaneously. I think it was always there. And as a leader of the country, I think it was already there. So is supposed to have said, saying that in Bhutan, uh, happiness is more important than domestic product. So that is how he responded. And I think then from there, I think the media also took it up. And of course, in our own country also, it was only then, maybe it was late 80s, I think mid 80s, we started to really package this, because while it was there, but it was not never packaged. It was never pursued. We took it almost like for granted. Then I think from there, I think our country came into a realization we really need to take advantage of this opportunity, and not only for our country, I think for the whole world. So therefore,
Perfect.
we started to develop this philosophical gross national happiness, and which became an official, even today, that is our development philosophy. So that is
Okay.
how the story of gross national happiness. And I think I also like to share, I'm sure you know, but maybe there are some listeners who will not know. Today, March 20, every year since 2012 or 2013, is being celebrated as the International Year of Happiness. And that actually came from our country.
Yes.
Our delegation to the UN
Yes.
have actually proposed that we need to have a day marked for to celebrate happiness. And through our initiative, I think it was in 2012 or 13 that the world started to celebrate March 20 as the International Day
Yeah.
of Happiness.
Yeah.
So that is from yes. Mm.
Perfect. Perfect. Amazing. It was 2013, and Bhutan is the one who actually proposed that to United Nations. Yes, you are
Yes.
absolutely right. I'm going to take the same happiness note and then bring it to Dorji's life. Okay. Because as great as Bhutan, Dorji is also as great as Bhutan for me. So now let's go into Dorji's life. What does happiness mean for you? Now we have said, what happiness meant for Bhutan. Okay. What is happiness for you? If I'm going to ask, saying like, Dorji, what will make you happy? Okay. But you
Yes.
should not tell anything about your work or this or that, nothing. Okay. Delete everything. The Dorji, what will make you happy?
You want just a word, or so I can
You
describe?
feel free. Yes, feel free.
Yeah. So to me, there are two things. To me, happiness can be in two things. One is at my own individual level, and because spiritually also sometimes in our upbringing, in my kind of a space, for at the end, it is about self-realization. And then the ultimate would be if you are able to do the self-realization perfectly, then you might even get enlightened. Yeah. So at the individual level, I would say, I mean, at the real inner level, that would be the happiness, that I get this opportunity to pursue self-realization and then attain this ultimate kind of a attainment. That would give me a kind of a ultimate happiness. That would be at the individual level. But then at a practical level, because this is not, of course, this can be also practical, but then at this point in time, uh, I'm with a family. I have a family. Yeah, I have a spouse. I have a children. So therefore, at the another happiness that I want to describe is then, and also not only that, I have a neighbors, I have a country, I have a so in that kind of a context, then I would say happiness too would maybe when I feel that whatever I'm doing, whether big or small, if it is able to make first is my own family, if I'm able to give them peace and comfort and prosperity, that would be happiness to me. And then, of course, it should go beyond that. Not only my immediate family, then again, if it goes beyond to my neighbors and then finally to the country, if I'm able to make some kind of a positive impact or contribution, I would consider that as happy. And if I'm not able to do that, if I feel at any point in time, like for example, for my family, if I'm not able to uh, keep them peaceful and calm, then I would not feel happy. So this is how I would describe in a practical sense. And of course, while I have defined this in a two different scenario, but I don't think in reality you can also separate this completely. Of course, it is in a way quite different, but then it is also possible to merge this together, and maybe at the end you should be able to
Perfect.
uh,
So with
yes.
this, if I ask you, define happiness, you have told so many things, okay? But not everything will be same for everybody. Let's say that there are A, B, C, D, E is part of happiness. So example for you, A will be more, B will be little less, C will be little. So for me, A will be little less, B will be more, C will be something like that. So as you rightly said, happiness starts from our own and then it actually goes to others. Yeah.
Mhm.
So if that is the case, after listening to all this, right from spirituality, etc. If I have to ask Dorji to explain happiness to somebody who is in opposite side, he has not seen happiness at all. His life is in complete doldrums. Okay. What will Dorji's inner self go and define happiness for him? If I am under tremendous stress, anxiety, depression, doldrums, what will happiness mean to me and how will Dorji explain to me?
Yes, again, very tough question, I would say.
Yeah,
Is not
it's
so
it's just whatever comes here. There
yes.
is nothing tough. I know that it is
So
there inside you. So
yes,
I'm just taking it out.
uh, like for me now, my present I can link it with what I'm trying to do. Presently, I'm on a mission. I'm on a mission to take our present level of creativity. I mean, our means the whole world's level of creativity from creativity one to creativity two, and that will help us to take humanity. Presently, we are in humanity one to humanity 2.0, and when we reach that stage, then I'm saying the whole world will kind of attain a state known as Shangri-La, in which we know Shangri-La means a kind of a heaven on earth. I mean, and when you talk about heaven, basically we're talking about a perfect conditions there. So when I say perfect condition means, then I'm talking about anybody living in that age and space should enjoy perfect peace and prosperity. So therefore, to me now at the end, when you say happiness means peace and prosperity. If there is peace and prosperity, then anyone can be happy. Now, in that particular situation, that person, if I have to come and intervene and help him to bring happiness, and he or she is in such a state that everything is in doldrum and nothing is working with him or her, then I would say, I mean, if I've given opportunity, I would interact with that person and then see what is really not happening in his life, and then to help him to attain that happiness would be, I think, mainly my effort would be how can I create an environment in such a way that, I mean, he or she also have to do it himself. But then, if I'm given opportunity, I will try to create an environment with whether material things or non-materials, or so that peace and prosperity. Now, peace is in your mind, yeah, peace, but prosperity is tangible things. Now, maybe you need to give him or her some resources, money or house or opportunities, and that will bring prosperity. So when we put together if an individual gets this peace and prosperity together, then I could say that person or that being is in could be in a happy state. So this is how I would
Wonderful.
like to define. But as I said, I'm this is a question that I'm facing for the first time, so uh, very
Yeah, yeah. That will probably, this is exactly the motive of the show. Even I have no idea. I will ask this question before. So, it's we get transformed when we actually start talking. The true conversation. Your answer will transform me. My question may transform you. There is a transformation which happens. So, the minute you link the prosperity, I want to ask you something. Um, Bhutan is a carbon zero country. It's
Mhm.
it's and it told the world that you don't need big conferences to explain what a carbon zero is, because Bhutan is carbon zero forever. And I'm not again going to ask about the political side of it. Now I'm going to ask on a simplistic side, because you were the governor of tourism. Okay. So while you were doing that job, you will have to do the job as a governor reporting to your kingdom, number one. And number two, while doing that, Dorji will have to remain himself to keep his values and his own character individuality to make sure that it is properly delivered. Okay, so with this in mind, what is coming to my mind is being carbon zero, because I also know a little bit of how to be carbon zero for a country, is not that easy. And to people who do not know what a carbon zero is, please Google it. Uh, you know, and specifically when you're sitting in a chair being the governor of the tourism, now comes the factor where you can invite all the big people to come to Bhutan, and so Bhutan will become rich. When I say rich, I'm talking about there is a lot of commercial value which will come inside, and money will come inside. There will be a good stability. It will again come back to citizens, and citizens will actually be very happy. So the happiness index will also go. The other side is you took a very strong decision saying like money next or commercial next, but carbon zero first. So when I say carbon zero, people may understand. Example, let's say if we are calling like 55-star hotels to come and build, gone. Your rating will immediately come down. Okay. So I want to know Dorji as a person. Okay. And then Dorji as a governor. Was that a very difficult decision for you plus your team plus your beloved team all to take? And again, answer me as Dorothy as a person in person. What was going in your mind? Were you aligned to that thought, or there were sometimes where you feel like, no, we should also become like other countries or something like that? Please.
Okay, so thank you very much. First, few clarification. Uh, I used to be governor of a district,
Yeah.
but my position when I was in tourism is not a governor. It used to be director general. So
Yeah.
just a
Okay.
correction.
Okay.
There are some Bhutanese who are
Yes.
watching. I think
Yes.
I need to make this clarification.
Sure.
So yes, I was heading the tourism department. Uh, that is the, and also the other thing I also wanted to add is Bhutan is not only carbon neutral, we are actually
Carbon
carbon
negative.
negative,
Yes. Carbon
which
negative.
means it is even better than carbon neutral.
Yes.
So, in fact, about 5 years ago, we were the only country that's carbon negative. But now I think we have been joined by two other countries who are carbon negative. So, and so this is something that we are also humbly proud of. And uh, I think your question, interestingly, I think for me, especially, and maybe it's true for most Bhutanese, when you are a public servant as an individual and also having to carry out the policy and programs of the country and the royal government, I think as far as, of course, I don't want to speak on behalf of other Bhutanese, but me, I don't think I had ever faced this problem. The conflict between my individual interests and values versus the government. I'm not faced. I mean, I have to say that I've worked for almost like 30 years in the public service, and I don't remember facing any such conflict of interest between my personal and the government. And the main reason, I guess, is at this point in time, as I said, this is again a first question. For the first time, I'm facing this question. I think just now, thinking back, I think the main reason could be because we are kind of guided by our own culture, history, and then later on, the gross national happiness development philosophy came, and whatever we do in the government, it used to be guided by this gross national happiness development philosophy. And under gross national, even our our status of doing good in environmental area like carbon negative and all status is all because of this gross national happiness. Because under gross national happiness we have four pillars, and the four pillars, one is good governance, one is economic development, three is cultural preservation, fourth is environment. So environment is one of these four pillar, and that is very had been very strong. And also our constitution also plays a big role in here. And our constitution actually tells that Bhutan should at all time minimum of 60% of a country should be under forest cover. And today, as we speak, I mean, we have more than 70%. So our government policy and what we are also brought up as a, Bhutanese in our own family, the cultural setting, the village setting, I think these are very much aligned. So therefore, I don't think I have ever faced that. But having said this, during my tourism time, that was quite a challenge. During my tenure in tourism, it happened during, uh, I was there during the COVID, the peak of COVID. And then after COVID also, I was there for 2 years. And that point in time, not really conflict, but I really sometimes had to think, because tourism policy is also very much guided by our development philosophy. And our policy, we call it as a high value, low volume, wherein again, for us, even in tourism, the money is comes second after the value or the happiness of the visitors. So we have to make this kind of and in the global world is a big sacrifice, because right after when we the whole world, when we open up our tourisms, most of the countries destinations, they were taking advantage, I mean, not really taking advantage, they wanted to uh, revive the tourism, because for last 2 years it was closed. So to revive, they wanted
Yeah.
to attract
Yeah.
visitors to their destination. So they were offering a lot of incentives,
Yeah.
no, airlines discount and blah blah. So many discounts, incentives were offering. But then Bhutan, we said no, we have to stick to our values, to our principles. So Bhutan, instead of offering all those incentives, in fact, we were even enhancing our high value low volume. I mean, for a case in point is Bhutan has this unique system in tourism, which we call as the Sustainable Development Fee. And pre-COVID, it used to be just 65 USD.
Hmm.
And then after COVID, when we reopened, we increased to 200 USD, almost like three, four times. Yeah.
Yes.
So this is a big discussion. This is a big kind of a sacrifice that we compromise that we are making. And these are all guided by our policy. Now, what I'm saying is at one point in time, I was also kind of feeling not so comfortable in the sense that, because when we do this, yes, right after closure for 2 years, and then when we open with such a big SDF, of course, this is naturally going to, I mean, discourage people to come in a country because they have to pay a huge fee. So that was kind of a dilemma for me. But then at the end, I said, no, I think what our country doing is right. Maybe at this point in time, so most of us, some of us, directly, indirectly, could be affected economic wise. But then Bhutan has always been, forward thinking, and we have been always looking in for the long term, and not only for a country, but for the whole world. So therefore, went ahead with this new tourism, enhanced kind of strengthen the high value, low volume policy and practices, and presently we are there. And just to let you know, tourism is yet to recover, but I think it is. I believe it is recovering. As we have all expected, it is going to take some time. But then I believe this is still a best decisions that
Okay.
we have.
If I probably take that cue, and let's say that I'm going to give you a time machine, and then put Dorji in the time machine, like back to how many years? 30 years you work, right? 30 years. Or maybe I'll put you 35 years before. Okay.
Okay.
So will you take the same path again? Or probably you wanted to do something else. And maybe this time you want to do that.
No, just to share with you honestly, yes, I also wanted to become a medical profession.
Ah,
during my
um,
during my school days. Of course I tried, but then those days we have a system wherein, of course, maybe even is today also, to go into a medical profession you really need to score very high. You have to be very good academically. I mean, you have to top your class. Then of course you get a scholarship and but so therefore you can tell, since I'm not a I wanted to be, but I didn't become it. Therefore, I'm not at the top in terms of academically. So therefore, I never got that opportunity. So if I'm again given a chance, I think I still respect that profession. I think the doctors. I mean, to me, doctors, the nurses, all those people working in the health sector, my highest respect. I mean, I see, and I have a family. I have a doctor in my family. My younger, one of my sister is a doctor, and I see her working the way she works. I mean, the life that they are dedicating in the service of the people, I think, and even before that, even when I was a student, I came to know about this. So that's something profession that, and I think basically this ties up to my values. I think basically, as I said earlier, when you talk about happiness, it's not just about myself. Yeah, it's about helping others also, being
yeah,
useful to others.
yeah,
As a doctor, I can see that on a day-to-day basis, on a minute to minute, hour to hour, you are always in the direct service to other people. Like in my profession, okay, in a different type, when I was in agriculture, when I was in governor, when I was in tourism, yes, I must be helping others, yeah, in my work. But then I don't see that satisfaction. I don't see directly, immediately helping them. But whereas in the medical profession, you are there, every time
yeah,
you are directly serving there. So
yeah.
therefore, it's my highest respect. So yes, if you give me opportunity, yes, maybe I still want to do that.
Perfect. And since you have already told again and again about the values, okay, the values which you currently have built, okay. One is experience. Okay, so I will let's say, take the experience and keep it out little side, because experience definitely makes you mature and all those things. But other than that, the value system that Dorji has, what do you think? Is it something which is built by your family, or is it something which is built through your education, or is it built through the culture in which you are actually, you will definitely come and give me an answer saying mix of everything, okay? But which which actually plays a majority of a role to make you the Dorji that who you are today in the value system side?
Of course, the earliest and the first is my mother, definitely. My mother. I mean, as I said, we are 10 children, 10 siblings, and most of our part of our life, she has been kind of a single mother, parent. I mean, we have two two fathers. Yeah, of course, I lost my father to heaven when I was just barely 1 year old. So then, of course, we were with the stepfather. So yeah, so I think one values that I have is through my mother. Then in my later professional life, of course, it is coming from the from our beloved monarchs, the way that they conduct themselves for our country. I think so. These are the two biggest. I would say first is my mother, and then second would be our Majesty's our leadership. And now
So
on the
can values be taught? Can values be uh,
no. I think to me, values uh, can be taught, but then, of course, in a class, we can say this is value, good value, bad value, and all, wrong. You can say this, but then for someone to really internalize this, I think you really need to experience. Well, teaching and is one thing, but then really experiencing, seeing with your own eyes, and then believing, and then internalizing it. I think when it comes to value, I believe this is not something that you can teach. So you have to really experience and you have to see by example. Like in both cases, like in mother cases, I saw with my own eyes, experience. Similarly, our leadership, we see this every day. I mean, I'm still getting inspired. I mean, the present mission that I'm on, the creativity to encourage and inspire other Bhutanese, and is also inspired from the top leadership. Now, the other, I mean, I'll give you a real example. Since this is a really, you said, is a unprepared talk, so I don't think I've shared this before, but I like to share because mainly in respect of your creativity. I mean, this format, I want to share something that I've not shared in public. That is one value that I'm carrying even today as I speak is my respect for the opposite gender. And as you have already highlighted, it is again my kind of silent mission to fast track the gender harmony because I still feel there's a lot of gap between male and female genders, and that has been uh, I got that kind of a value through looking at my mother. I mean, how she came, brought up 10 of us, and what kind of experiences she went through. And I kind of felt that I don't want to give such a I'm not saying that she has never complained, by the way. She's very happy woman as of now,
yeah,
but that's my own interpretation, that from my
yeah,
judgment. But as we speak, she's 93 years old and she's very healthy and happy.
okay,
She's there. But then if you ask her, I'm sure she will say, I have no complaint. I mean, my life has been perfect. I'm sure she will say that. But then for me as a son, as a man, when I see that, I feel she has been not fairly dealt. I mean, this is my
yeah,
assessment. So therefore, I felt that that value came to me from that experience and said, I in my life I will try to not to do what she has been facing to women. So whether it's my spouse or whether it is my other woman, it is always in my interest deep down that in whatever way I'll try to give respect or in whatever way. I mean that if we can come to a kind of a same kind of a level. So this has been one kind of a value that I got from my
perfect,
mother.
perfect. This actually um, one thing suddenly came to my mind. Let's say that I'm giving you $1 million right now. Okay. Because we spoke about value system, we spoke about it cannot be taught, etc., etc. Let's say that if there is Dorji gets $1 million, okay, to get your creativity 2.0, get your gender neutrality, gender harmony to do it. What will Dorji do next? Because like let's say that the only reason why I put money on the card is because not because to bribe or something. It's because that if the resource is unlimited, okay, What will Dorji do?
Yeah, if because 1 million may not be enough. So if I have a unlimited resource,
Right.
then I would definitely like to, because these days unfortunately I think you can buy with money. I mean everything, almost
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
So if I can do that, definitely I want to be a world leader wherein I can make a decision for the whole world. For example, just now I think our Honorable President of USA, Ms. Excellency Donald Trump, I mean, he can do some things which he wanted to do. I mean, because he has that position, he has that power. Yeah. So similarly, I would like to research such a state and then bring those changes that I want to bring. Because, as you said, yes, resources very much important. Well, I have so many ideas, but then because of the constraints, I don't have access to resources, and then of course I can do only that much. But of course, I'm not giving up because even if I don't have $1 million, I will still pursue my in my own way. Because at the end, my satisfaction would be okay. I have tried. If I'm not able to do it, never mind, because I've given my best. So yes, if I have that unlimited resources, I want to be in that world leader position, and then try to bring, like for example, gender harmony. I'm saying the World Economic Forum of 2025 is saying it will take 134 years to bridge this gap.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to fast track into in my speech in Malaysia last year. I think I said not 134 years. If we cannot do it in 134 days, let's do it in 134 months. I said, and who knows? So, I mean, if I get that kind of a power and position, I can do that. That is one. Second one is the creativity, and my creativity mission is to make this world a better place. That poverty and poor is a thing of past. Everyone in this world, without exception, will live a life of peace and prosperity. I mean, today you see the poverty is so widespread. Yeah, I mean, even in our country, even in India, I mean, elsewhere, we still have that
Yeah.
issue. And why we are having this? I feel through creativity we can definitely erase all this. I mean, it should be possible, but just now the state of matter, especially on this wealth distribution, it is pathetic. Yeah, I mean,
Perfect.
we are
Yeah,
at the end. We have
I have to one. I will take it from that 134 days, 134 months. And then the second thing about poverty. And this poverty is something which um, is there in my mind for a very long time. I keep asking a lot of people who I really value. So the first question is there with that 134 days or something like that. Do you really feel that whether it is 134 days or 134 months, do you really feel that the human, are we ready to transform to that level?
No, I personally feel yes. And whether we are ready or not, I won't be able to answer for the whole world. But I feel
Now,
if I'm given this,
from your point of
yes, yes, it is long overdue. We should be ready, and we need to do this. Uh, because when you compare the gender harmony with the rest of other things that is happening in this world, gender harmony has been really left behind. Uh, I don't know if there's time. I can share a small fact.
there is no time limit, as I said.
Yes. So
There is
the small
nothing,
fact
no
is
format. Yeah,
gender harmony. Why I'm saying it is long overdue. We are ready. We have to make ourselves ready because it has been too long delayed. Because the first organized women's rights movement in our world started in 1848. Yeah, around 1848, and it was in a convention in New York City called Seneca Falls Convention. 300 women, it seems, they came together and they discussed about women's rights movement. 1848, and that was almost like uh, mm, around 60 years, I think, before we our world first invented the airplane.
yeah,
Yeah. Now today, you just see where we have reached in terms of aviation technology. We are
right.
even exploring the deep universe. We are even trying to create cities in other planets, space. So we have come that way. But gender harmony, though it has started earlier in 1848, but as of now, today, we don't even have one single country. that can boast of having a gender parity. Of course, every year they do this measurement, assessment, and then so far the highest is supposed to be the Iceland. I think Iceland have around almost gender harmony of more than 89%, I think. In second, and the world's happiest country supposed to be Finland.
Mm,
Even they have only about 87%. So therefore,
mm.
I feel it is long overdue. And in our everyday life, I mean, we can always see, I mean, what is not happening, right? So yes, definitely we are ready. But just a disclaimer, I cannot speak on behalf of the rest of the
Yeah,
world.
yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
to me,
This is all about you. So this, my second question is on poverty. There are many things which goes in my mind, and there are a lot of people also. A lot of people have written about poverty also. One question goes back saying that is poverty all about money?
not about money, but I think you can put it in a different. Maybe at the end it will come to the same point. But then I think it would be better to say that it's not really about the money, uh, uh, but it is more about the access and the distribution
Yes.
of the money.
Mm.
Uh, so I think that is not a correct answer. I think your question is it all about money?
Yeah.
I would say, to be practical, yes. I
Mm.
mean, yes, it is about money
Mm.
because today, without money, I mean, you get nothing. Yeah, so you need to have money to buy anything, even your food and all.
Right.
So yes, that is one. But then the how we can address this through uh, through proper kind of a distribution, and that can only come through. As of now, I think there is no kind of a proven idea or strategy or intelligence as of now to make that accessible to everyone. Therefore, we have this mass, widespread disparity here. But I believe through creativity put together, we can come up with this new idea. I mean, how can
Absolutely.
we?
Absolutely. The reason behind this question, I always ask people who I really admire is because there is a study by a consortium of US universities, what is poverty and how one gets inside the poverty circle, and is there a way that comes out, and is there how they come out. And interestingly, they created this four different clusters. One is a normal middle class cluster. The other is the upper middle class cluster. The other is the H and I's, which is like rich people, but not the richest. Okay, and the actual richest of the richest. Okay, and the richest of the richest, for whatsoever timeline, they have not come under poverty again. Okay. So the next segment is, rich people. It is said that for every sixth generation, okay, they come under poverty again. Okay.
Oh,
And for the upper middle class people, that is for every fourth generation. And then for the middle class people, every third generation. Okay. So I'm not sure whether it is a right representation and inference for them, or sometimes it comes to me also. I'm also a human being. So it says that, poverty is all about aspiring not aspiring to come outside. Okay. So the resources, many a times government, I completely agree with you. The disparity in distribution is there, but even where the distribution is there, number of percentages of people coming out of poverty is going down here. So it's a very interesting study, and that's a long form study, which means that that study keeps on going, and we will keep on going here. So that's the main reason I wanted to get your views. According to that study's inference, poverty is not on the money, but poverty is on the life's aspiration to coming out of it, not having the aspiration to coming out of it here. So I want to just give you that preview for it. Dorji, this actually make me ask you one thing. We are talking about poverty, we're talking about prosperity, etc. I think this reminds me. that we should definitely talk about that investment thing that you and me spoke in Chennai, because I know for sure there are a lot of business people who will look into this, because all my followers or all my people are, mostly the pivot based companies, or companies who are doing a decent turnover. Please take us through that mindfulness city, that project which is currently on, which you mentioned to me in Chennai also. So that little bit of it, I am sure somebody will get inspired and probably contact you, or they may probably establish their venture in Bhutan. So yeah, little bit, maybe 5 minutes, 5 minutes on that, please.
Oh, yes, yes. Thank you so much, Mr. Beloved brother. I think that is a great opportunity for me. Yes, I also had that in mind. I wanted to talk a little bit on my Gulf Mindfulness City. Yes, Gulf Mindfulness City is now, we consider this as a GNH, Gross National Happiness, point two. So GMC, basically the underlying principles and philosophy remains the same. Is when we pursue development, economic development, it is not should be at the cost of happiness and well-being, culture, environment. It should be never at the cost of that. It has to be always kind of a balanced approach. That has been the core philosophy of GNH, Gross National Happiness. Now in GMC, Gelpo Mindfulness City, we are taking this one step, or maybe even one or two more steps higher than the GNH. Meaning, we believe that as of now, there is no such a city in the world, not in the present, not even in the past. So this is going to be first of its kind, and first of its kind in the sense that this is going to be kind of a really the perfect kind of a model wherein we as a human being, we are actually living in this world in a perfect harmony, sync with the nature. And not nature means basically we are also talking about the human beings. So whoever is involved in this city, for example, those people, once it is fully grown and established, people living in that city will kind of live a very harmonious kind of a life in a perfect sync with the nature, with your uh, spirituality, and also at the same time you'll be enjoying the economic prosperity. Because as of now in Bhutan, if we say GNH has been doing very well, but in terms of the prosperity, economic prosperity, I don't think we have done very well. We have done very well in environment, as you said, we are carbon negative. Culture, very well, we have done. And then even in governance is a very good example in Bhutan, how we have done well. Because Bhutan could be the only country in the history of human that democracy came to a country uh, as a gift from the reigning, very
Yeah.
popular,
Yes.
successful,
Hmm.
loving monarchs. They gifted it to the country, to the people, and at the same time, people said, "No, we are not ready. We don't want." So despite that, it came. So in terms of governance, I mean, that's a great example of governance. I mean, the leadership then thought that, I mean, maybe the better way of governing would be democracy. I mean, which is as of now, I mean, everybody believes that democracy could be the best form of government. So yeah, so in the governance also we did great. Now, only thing that we didn't do well is economic. In economic front, the prosperity part, we know. So now in GMC, including those spirituality, culture, nature, environment, all plus the economic part will be also there. So therefore, it will be in a way the vision that I had through my creativity, Shangri-La that I was talking about. It could be that Shangri-La also. Of course, these are my own interpretation. So there, what is happening is we have actually designated almost like 2,500 square kilometer of our country in the southern part of our country, bordering the state of Assam in India, and it is in the southern belt, more kind of a uh, accessible landscape. Is not, I mean, rest of the country is very hilly. So only towards the foothills we have a more plains, so more kind of accessible there. And then it will be operated. It's already being operated as a special administrative region (SAR). It will have its own governance. It will have its own judiciary. It will have its own. Yeah, I mean, it will
Yeah.
be
Independence is there.
Yes,
Independent
independent.
operational independence.
Yes, so it is being operated under a system which is again created by Our Majesty. They're called one country, two systems. So Bhutan we will continue with, just now I'm in Bhutan, so we will continue with whatever we're doing as per our laws. And then GMC, while it is part of Bhutan, but then it will operate on its own rules and regulations, policy, everything. Yeah, but at the end, maybe after 20 years, 30 years, when GMC is fully established and Bhutan is also, caught up with GMC, then again the GMC will dismantle and then it will come as one country. So I think that is the vision. And for the rest of the world, what we are saying is we are requesting and inviting support to, I mean, support us in this initiative, because this is not just going to be for Bhutan. Of course, it will benefit directly Bhutan, but then this is going to be some kind of a model for the rest of the world, because today we know the whole world is in a turmoil. Yeah, I mean, we are almost like getting confused. I mean, we don't know whether we are pursuing the right thing. So we are hoping that through GMC we could come up with kind of a model that could be beneficial, that could be helpful to the rest of the world, basically respecting that our planet Earth will continue to survive very in a good health, and in the process, whoever is inhabiting this planet Earth, like human beings, the animals, the plants, will also have a good life. So this is in a very my own words. But then
Yeah,
for those of you, if you are interested, because there is a huge opportunity for anyone, those who are interested to invest and be part of this. But then again, I have to say, I have to make it this, especially from my side. Even if you, money is not just the criteria. Earlier you said, I think maybe I answered it wrong now, because mm, if you want to be part of GMC, money is not only the thing. You may be a billionaire, you may be a millionaire, you may have a lot of money to invest, but if there will be a checklist, and if you
correct.
don't qualify, if you don't fulfill some of our other non-money related factors or criteria, you will be not invited. So any investor, partners who wants to be part of our GMC has to be on invitation. Of course, you can make proposal, you can submit your ideas and investment plans and all, but then there will be a team, there is a team in GMC who will go through all this and then see whether this proposal meets the checklist. And the checklist will be very strong on spiritualism, environment. This will be the key, and the governance. So
Absolutely.
economy will be also there. Yeah, in
Absolutely.
a gist there. And then we have already a very active website called, very easy. It is known as it is www.gmcgmc.bt. That's the website, and you'll get all the information there. And of course, our good brother India has been supporting this project, and we already have some big
Yeah.
support coming from India.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. He also told some brand names. Let's not tell the brand names here, but yes, there are lots of investment from India which is already going there. And who knows, maybe in future if MESMA is also starting in Bhutan, then it's because for you, Dorji. That let's see. Yeah, we don't know. Okay, great. So now I want to ask you um, seven questions. Okay. This
Okay.
this seven question is again continuation of a long form research that we in MESMA is my company, it is into behavioral psychology research. So we have this long form research for last 3 years, and we ask the same question to multiple people at multiple profession, at multiple age, and all the variations. Okay.
Mhm.
The only rule here is whatever comes to your mind, you can say, but tell it like bullet points, not like full explanation. So, what we do is we take this and then we put like one big analysis, and then we are creating what is called as the human archive. Okay, the human archive, and this is for getting into the AI as LLM, or for the future generations to come and verify. It's almost like a dictionary for the future generation to see who we are as a real person. Okay, so the questions are same questions to all the people. Okay, so Can I start asking you? Are you ready?
Oh, yes, yes, yes,
Okay.
yes.
My first question is who you are when nobody needs anything from you.
Who I am when
Yes,
nobody needs me.
when nobody needs anything from
Uh, I feel I'm myself,
you.
meaning I'm Dorji. So uh, even if rest of the world doesn't need me, I think I am who I am. I'm myself. I don't know. This is what comes to my mind.
Perfect. Yeah, it's there is no right answer, there is no wrong
Yeah.
answer. So it's
Yes.
just okay. My second question, if you can allow me. No, my second question is, what part of yourself do people benefit from the most, but rarely notice? I will repeat. What part of yourself do people benefit from the most, but rarely notice?
Maybe my brain.
Okay, right.
Hmm.
Okay. So I'll go to the third question. What became stronger in you because life hurt you? I'll repeat the question. What
What
became stronger in you because life hurt you or when life hurt you?
what became stronger in me when life hurt? What became stronger? I think my dreams,
Wow.
my dreams.
Wow. Amazing. But I'll ask the fourth question now. What ordinary moment in your life feels extraordinary to you now? Ordinary moment in your life feels extraordinary moment now.
Uh, I could say maybe around 20 years ago when I made a trip in a rural part of a country.
Mhm,
I just still remember that, and that came into my book, my first book.
mhm.
So that has actually then slowly driven me to what I'm today.
Which is your first book, Raj? I know about your creativity. I know about your Explore Bhutan. I know about your Hercules. Uh,
Yes,
which Hercules or what type?
Tongsutra,
Ah,
Tongsutra.
yeah. So
So the first book is not any of them. The first book which I'm referring to is called as Escapist Awakening.
okay.
Escapist Awakening and is a novel fiction about women empowerment, gender harmony.
Wow.
Yes.
So
Mm.
that book you wrote 20 years before, or inspired, and then you wrote
Uh,
now.
Inspired, no, I published this in 2013, but I think it was
2013.
inspired by my one of my travel in the rural areas.
Oh wow, amazing answer. Wow. Okay. My fifth question. What silently disappeared from your life? What silently disappeared from your life as you grew older?
Maybe uh, the the failures and the dissatisfactions that I had as a younger person. I think I had a lot of regrets, some failures, some misfortunes, and some things that I've not been able to achieve. Now I think these are no more bothering me.
Understood. But this is not part of the question, but I will ask you that. Let's say if the current Dorji, with your experience, with your level of maturity right now, if the same Dorji goes back to that young Dorji, you think that you will probably handle it differently? You would have probably handled the failures or probably your disappointments and regrets. You would have handled it differently, not from action, but from inside, mentally.
Yes, 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 I would.
Yeah.
I would.
And you mean to say,
And mainly for the reason that uh, just to test myself. I mean, I've not been able to do in this journey. If given opportunity, yes, I would like to try differently.
yeah, so you will accept the failure.
Mm, yes,
Okay.
but then it has now. I've forgotten it.
Yes,
It
yes,
has been
yes.
a failure in one stretch of my life, but now as I grow older, I think I'm okay with this. But then, given opportunity, yes, definitely I want to try a different
Okay,
way.
perfect. I think my sixth question is, this is, you are the perfect person to ask this question. I know that even when I think of that question is, what kind of human connection do you think the world is starving right now? What kind of human connection does the world is starving right now?
Yes, basically, feeling for others. I think it's compassion. Basically, you try to put in the shoes of others, I think, because we are mostly always in our own shoes and don't really see from other point of view. So I think that feeling for others, maybe I think the nearest term that I can think of is compassion, I think,
Very
for
good.
other
Okay,
beings.
my last question of this, seven questions for human archive is, when everything is removed, everything else is removed from your life. Okay, who are you? Who? What is that inner real you? Who are you? When everything else is removed.
I like to say my country.
Wow. Okay, right.
Mhm.
So that's the end of my seven questions, and this
Okay.
actually seven questions. The answers actually go to the research. So
Okay.
there is no right answer. There is no wrong answer. So this is something which I generally I will ask this at the end of it, but I have only one more thing to understand from you. Uh, and of course, before going all that, if anybody wants to contact Dorji or something, I will give his LinkedIn, Facebook. I'll get all his, maybe his email ID also, and I will give it in the comment section. You can reach out to him. Um, Raji, my last thing to you. Okay.
Okay.
Um, if Dorji wants to say two things, these are the things that I am proud of about yourself only. Okay. And these are the things that I am not that proud of. Okay. You have the guts to say whatever it is, just say. And the question is not that. Okay. After saying this, the question is for senior like you, for us, juniors like us, or probably for everybody here, how much of introspection can make a person the real you? That's the question. But to go to that, can you say two things which you are really, really proud at, and two things which you feel, no, I think this is not me? And then take us to the answer of that test. And that will be my last.
Okay. So first one is easy. Two thing that I'm proud of. Personally, I feel as a civil servant, I think, I mean, I said I've served for 30 years, and all along my service, I've tried my best to be a good civil servant. And of course, I have my own definition of a civil servant. That is one. And second would be my respect for the woman gender. Of course, as a man, normally I think we have the freedom to be more kind of free, and sometimes that means you play with the lives of women. So I feel I've not I'm still not into that kind of a thing. So I feel personally happy about that. Of course, now something that I'm not proud of would be first is what something I'm not proud of. Mm, yeah, one is as of now, I think in a way I am trying to be a creativity catalyst, and it has been almost like now 1.5 years or 2 years, and I feel I've not been able to make a breakthrough, uh, and I should. I feel being a creativity catalyst. I mean, breakthrough not for myself. Basically, to take this message to a
And
wider audience. I've not been able to do that. Something that I'm not proud of as of now, as in myself. The second one could be uh, could be connected to it could be kind of contradicting. I mean, what I said earlier, but then I like to say this, even if it so be it, not been still able to give the full support to my immediate family. I feel I should be able to do more than what I've been doing so far. So yeah, this could be two
now
things.
comes the question. The
Okay.
question, yeah, the question was, like how much of introspection that people have to do to find the real person inside, and will it help? If so, how will it help?
Uh, I it in my experience, I think it is about experience. I think we really need to experience to get this introspection by listening or by hearing others and seeing others. I think this may not be of much help to you. I think you have to leave that uh, for you to reflect and to make if you have to make any corrections. I think you have to experience yourself. I feel otherwise thing doesn't really work out. This is what I feel.
Perfect. From my side, everything is over. I had lovely time talking with you, and your closing remarks.
Thank you so much, Brother Satish. I think it was been such a great time conversation talking with you. As I said, some of things that I you asked me and I had the opportunity to share were for the first time, and I feel very good about it that I shared. And also, besides this, I think this session also gave me new insights, like especially towards the end. These are very, while you said these are not. But to me, I found it very serious and something that can really help me to again further channel my life. The Yeah, so very insightful. Though you said earlier maybe this is not really kind of a guided, but then somehow you put it in a such a way that it was not guided, but then I felt it and very uh, enhanced and inspired. Something that I take away a lot of things here for me to work on. So thank you very much, and also to all the listeners and viewers. Uh, if you are interested to talk further with me, as brother said, my details will be shared. So I look forward to that. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. I resonate the same thing. While nothing was prepared on the way when we flowed, a lot of interaction happened, a lot of openings came to me also. There was a transforming moment also within your life and the journey. And one thing which I always believe that, nobody's alone in this world. So there is always a story, there is always a journey, there is always an inspiration which will guide us either directly or indirectly. And I believe that through this podcast, someday somebody will definitely get inspired, and the values that you actually said, the journey that you actually mentioned will definitely be part of their life. Maybe you will get companies to Bhutan also for your GNC project. Maybe there'll be, people who are willing to talk to Dorji, not only for the podcast, but also for guidance. And who knows, this can become that moment for you to have that, to make the world a better place. And I wish you all the very best. And I really say that thank you so much for giving me your time. It's been an honor, privilege, and it's wonderful, wonderful to have you as our WayCraft, guest. So with that, I think if you don't have anything else, we can just, wrap up the program.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I will just quit the live now.